What's going on, everybody? Your mom's favorite YouTuber, KKS here, back at it with continuing my 2020-2021 NBA award predictions. I previously had this video recorded, which is why it was supposed to come out yesterday. However, there was a problem with the recording, so instead you got the tic-tac-toe video. Um, so yeah. But here we are, redoing it. You're gonna get two videos today. You're gonna get the Rookie of the Year video, which you're watching right now, and you're gonna get the Defensive Player of the Year video, which you've either already seen, it's already out, or it's coming later today. So check that video out. Also check out my previous video with my MVP award predictions. I've seen your guys' comments. I've replied to a few of them. Just to more explain my thoughts. So yeah. Anyways, going with Rookie of the Year. First guy is gonna be who I think is gonna win the award. This time, the guy who I put second is my dark horse. Somebody I think is gonna end second. My prediction is he's gonna end second, and but also just get top three as a finalist. And third is kind of my safer choice, and it's going to be a guy who I think is going to end third, but I think is pretty much the safest choice for the top three. Um, but anyways, let's get into it. The guy who I think was going to win Rookie of the Year, James Wiseman. Um, James Wiseman was my favorite prospect coming into the draft. I thought he was better than Anthony Edwards. I thought he was safer than LaMelo Ball. Not quite better. They're both like they both offer completely different things, so it's hard to compare them. But I thought Wiseman was the safer choice, but I think LaMelo has the higher ceiling. Um, but yeah, I thought he was better than Obi Toppin. I thought he was better than Okoro Okongwu. But yeah, I think he's the best player in the draft. I think he fell into probably the best position you could have been in with one of those few top picks. There were a few positions that would have been better than the Golden State Warriors. He's going to be mentored by Draymond Green, which I don't know how many of you guys actually don't realize it, but putting his dramatics aside, Draymond Green is one of the smartest basketball players in the NBA, and I'm not even joking about that. He genuinely is. He's so smart when it comes to being a basketball player. That's why he's able to play as a small ball center when he's, I don't know what is he, 6'7"? I think he's 6'7", or they said he was 6'5". I don't know. Whatever he was, he's undersized. We all know that. Um, so he's gonna teach Wiseman a lot of different things. Obviously Wiseman is the beneficiary to having a tall height. I think he's 7'1", 7 feet, something like that. Um, so yeah, Draymond's gonna teach him a lot of things. He also has one of the best leaders in the league in Steph Curry, probably the best point guard in the league, um, best floor general, stuff like that. He's also got a proven coach, Steve Kerr. Basically just a culture of a team that's won championships not too long ago. Um, and when Klay Thompson gets back, obviously he can teach him a few things. Although I'm not sure how much Klay could help, as they play completely different roles. Um, but anyways, so the concerns about James Wiseman going into the draft is he not proven enough? He only played 3 games in college, and the also his other main concern was that the state of the game and the league's big men are changing. As you can see, Draymond is playing center, or he plays small ball center. We see Bam Adebayo, undersized center, but he's still one of the best defensive and best centers in the league. Um, I mean, that's basically all that they said about Wiseman. That's just the limited sample size and the fact the league is changing. Now here I am going to debunk both of those. So the first one, the limited sample size. He played 3 games at Memphis. However, he still played well in those games, and you don't need to actually watch him play in college. We've watched him in high school, and we watched his talent in high school. College, anyways, you mostly see one and done players who only played like what 20, 30 games. Pretty sure Kyrie played 9 games in his rookie year, and I mean in his um, year in college at Duke. And he was still taken as the number one overall pick, and he's developed very well. I understand the concern you haven't watched him enough. However, if you watch him back in high school, if you watched his 3 games in college, if you watched his pre-draft workouts, you'll know that this guy is a beast, and I wouldn't use the word freak of nature, 'cause he's not really a freak, but he is incredibly strong. He's incredibly tall. His size is probably the ideal size you could want in a center. Um, at least before. Nowadays, size you don't really care about, which leads me to the second concern is that he's more of like an old school center and not more of that new age kind of big man, which honestly I don't see as a concern. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going back to like the way they played like 10, 20 years ago, as long as it's not your entire game plan. If it's just one player who plays like that, we see it all the time. Andre Drummond is playing like this. He's still an all-star. Rudy Gobert is playing like this. He's winning Defensive Player of the Year. His team's making the playoffs. And just see all these other big men who are 7 feet tall, who great rim protectors, good rebounders. There's nothing wrong with being an old school center. I mean, yes, we're seeing a new league where the Rockets are starting someone who's 6'5". The Warriors won a championship with Draymond at center. The Heat made it to the championship with Bam Adebayo as their center. Yes, I understand that. But you can also win with a pure big man at center, someone who's 7'1" like Wiseman. There's no there's nothing that there's no statistic that shows that a small ball center is more efficient. It's just that it helps with certain systems. Now, the Warrior system is exactly one of those small ball systems, and the fact that they felt comfortable enough to draft James Wiseman instead of somebody like LaMelo Ball or Onyeka Okongwu, somebody who fits that Bam Adebayo role, that small ball role perfectly, shows that they have a plan for him and shows that they know what to expect from James Wiseman and they can use him within their systems without there being much of a problem. So yeah, again, I think he's gonna win Rookie of the Year. I think he's gonna average a double double this year. He's definitely gonna be a future double double guy. This year, he's either gonna barely be a double double guy or he's gonna barely miss. I think he's gonna score. I think he's gonna drop 11 and 10 this season. Um, so yeah, because he plays with the Warriors and Steph Curry, um, they're going to be shooting. Also, Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins, they're going to be shooting a lot of threes, especially with Oubre and Wiggins when they miss a lot. Wiseman is going to have an opportunity to showcase his rebounding, and it gives them great opportunities for second chance points. And I think with Wiseman in the fold, Draymond is going to focus on a lot of different things now that he doesn't have to be that small ball center. And I think that's going to be beneficial to his game. He doesn't have to guard the other team's center and he doesn't have to be outmatched with their size. He can now guard somebody his own size. And he can leave big men and start guarding more perimeter players. And that's going to open things up for Wiseman to showcase his talent on the inside. Um, so yeah, James Wiseman, my favorite for Rookie of the Year. I feel pretty confident about this one. And yeah, so the second guy, this one's gonna raise a few eyebrows. Although I know there are some people who would agree with me, but a lot more will disagree. Is gonna be Cole Anthony. Now, Cole Anthony has his fair share of worries entering the league. People question his durability. They question his like, is he a kind of guy who's going to be able to be a floor general? Um, we know he's a great rim attacker. He's a great shooter. He's not quite there yet as a defender. But I think, weirdly enough, the Magic entering, sorry, Cole Anthony entering the Magic system is going to be very beneficial to his game. As a rookie, he doesn't have to worry about that floor general stuff yet because they already have one, a floor general in Markel Fultz. So I think that's going to give Cole Anthony the opportunity to focus on a lot of other different things while he's young, and as he improves on more of the basics of being an NBA player, eventually he can more transition to more of that floor general role. And I think this is a prime example of this is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with the Thunder. Um, the Thunder last year, they ran that three-point guard lineup with Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, and Shea. And they didn't need Shea to be that floor general because they had one of the most experienced floor generals in the league in Chris Paul and another very experienced one in Dennis Schroeder. And that in turn gave Shea the chance to focus on other things as a wing player, as a scoring guy more than a distributing guy. And I think now they see that he's ready, and they didn't feel the need to bring back Chris Paul. They traded him away. They didn't feel the need to bring back Dennis Schroeder, and they let him walk in free agency to the. Or no, they traded him too. Sorry, they traded Schroeder to the Lakers. If they thought Shea wasn't ready, they would have kept. I don't think they would have kept Chris Paul. I think he was gone anyway. But I think they would have kept Schroeder if they thought Shea wasn't ready. They wouldn't have thrown him into the fire. So here the Magic are in a similar scenario, not quite three-point guard lineup, but they have Markel Fultz. Um, as for the fit with Markel Fultz, I think it's a pretty good one. Both of them are great attackers are great at attacking the rim. Um, I think Cole Anthony's a much better shooter than Markel Fultz. As we all know, Markel Fultz has had his trouble with his shot, but it's getting fixed. At least he knows how to shoot now. He doesn't have any more shoulder or arm problems. He hasn't been shooting well as of yet, though, so hopefully he gets that fixed. But at least Cole Anthony is a good complement to that because he can shoot. Also, another thing about Cole Anthony is that he has that desire to play. Unlike an Anthony Edwards who doesn't like basketball, Cole Anthony loves basketball. He lives for basketball. So I think Cole Anthony, with his desire, is gonna work hard, and he's gonna raise some eyebrows in this season. And I think he's gonna end as a Rookie of the Year finalist, and I think he's gonna end second. As for my stat prediction, let's see. I think he'll average 10 a game, 10 a game, maybe 3 assists a game. Um, but yeah, I don't think he's a rookie, so I don't want to give these extremely high expectations, but I think 10 points and 3 assists is reasonable. The Magic, they don't exactly have a great track record of developing young players. As you can see with Mo Bamba, I mean, he still hasn't developed, and I think that's largely due to the fact that they have Vucevic and they haven't really given Mo Bamba enough of an opportunity to develop. And they also have Aaron Gordon, who's a good player, but I thought entering the draft he was a great talent who was going to be an all-star. But the Magic just haven't developed him to be one. Jonathan Isaac, he tore his ACL. That was unfortunate to see. But even him, it took a long time for him to develop. At first, he looked like a bust, but eventually, he looked better. I'm quite still not quite sure which way he's gonna go. Is he gonna be just some role player, or is he gonna be an all-star as well? I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be an all-star with the Magic, and now that he's injured. But I think he might be better than a role player. I think he's gonna be a quality starter in the league. Um, but the Magic, just in general, in the past they haven't been developing players very well. But I think Cole Anthony is going to be an exception to that, much like Jonathan Isaac was prior to injury. Um, so yeah, I think Cole Anthony is going to be great. I truly believe in him. Unlike Anthony Edwards, who I think is going to be a bust, Cole Anthony has the desire. Um, The reason I think Anthony Edwards is a bust is because he just said he doesn't like basketball. And if you don't like what you do, then you're not going to be great at it because there are going to be days where you don't feel like going out to train, putting shots up, or working out. And if you really love basketball, then you're gonna say, "Nah, I love basketball. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna improve. So in the future, I don't regret this." However, Anthony Edwards is gonna be like, "Oh, I have something better to do. I don't need to go work out if I can and if I enjoy doing, I don't know, so and so more than I like working out and being better at basketball." So and that's truly the difference between being a bust and being a great player in this league. Because Anthony Edwards is the number one overall pick. We saw it with Andrew Wiggins. If you don't work hard, you're going to have these high expectations you're not going to reach, and that's going to hurt your mentality. Now, Anthony Edwards has a very strong mentality. However, a very strong mentality coupled with very intense criticism can honestly break a player if he's so self-confident and he's not aware of the hard work that he needs to put in to be great, then there's going to be a problem there. And I truly don't think, especially in Minnesota, the same place where Andrew Wiggins did it, I don't think Anthony Edwards can even reach the potential that Andrew Wiggins has reached. Um, and I mean, there's concerns about his game too. I mean, the main good thing that they said about Anthony Edwards is that he's a very good shot creator. However, the problem is he's not a great shooter. So what's the point of being a great shot creator if you can't shoot? I mean, obviously, if going into the draft you like somebody who's a great shot creator, even if they can't shoot, because they can always learn how to shoot or shoot better, I mean. But Anthony Edwards doesn't like basketball. He's not going to put in the effort that everybody else is going to put in to improve his jumper. So I just don't see it adding up for Anthony Edwards. It's way more cons than it is pros for me. Um, so yeah, I mean that's just completely irrelevant. But here's Cole Anthony. I think he's gonna end second in Rookie of the Year voting, and the next guy is a pretty safe choice. Um, Many people consider him to be the most pro-ready rookie in the draft, and that's Obi Toppin. Um, the reason they think he's the most pro-ready is because of his strength. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys understand the difference between college level strength and pro level strength, but there is a massive difference. And the fact that Obi is already pro ready strength means he can start focusing on other things like improving a jumper or improving his technique. I know the problem with Obi a lot is his post up technique. He doesn't have the footwork or the technique quite yet. Also with other things, his ball handling he can improve. So yeah. Um, Also with rookies, they're not going to look good initially due to the fact that their strength isn't quite there yet, especially in a year like this where there was such a short off season. Especially after the draft. I think the draft was like 1 or 2 months ago. I can't remember, but you can't honestly expect a rookie to go from what they were strength wise in college to all of a sudden be pro ready. But Obi is one of the very few guys who is like that. And I think that's going to translate to more early season success and more consistency throughout the season that when voting time comes around, people are gonna be like, wow, Obi really was solid from the start of the season. He showed some improvement throughout the season, and he's still a very consistently good player at the end of the season. So I think that consistency is going to be the difference between him and a lot of other choices. Especially again, he can improve his shooting, ball handling, footwork, technique throughout the season, while other people are going to be focused on improving their strength, which isn't going to exactly look like good immediately on the basketball court. It's going to take a year or two for that to happen. But for Obi, um, working on a jumper, working on technique, it's going to have an immediate impact on his game. So that's why I think Obi is the safest choice for top three. finalist. I think he has a very good shot at winning the award. The only problem is I think Wiseman is pretty damn close to being pro ready, and I think Wiseman's size is just gonna, you know, overcome the lack of pro ready strength. You know, Obi does come with a lot of questions. He does look pretty unorthodox in the game, but I think that's fine. We've seen plenty of unorthodox players in our time for him to be successful. Again, Obi is one of those guys who has that desire. He has that mentality that he can be go out there and be successful. I'm pretty sure he thinks that he's the best player in the draft. And he's happy that he was drafted by New York. Not many people would be, but he said, New York is my team, New York is my city. He's going to go out there and play for the Knicks, which really is kind of one of the biggest worries for me is that he plays for the Knicks. And obviously, we know they don't have the best track record either for developing rookies. Um, but I think this is going to be different. I think the Knicks are truly on their way to leaving the depths of the bottom of the East to being a pretty decent team. I don't think they're going to be good yet. I don't even think will make the playoffs next year. But eventually, if they just trust the process with RJ Barrett, develop him, improve his shooting because right now he's not an efficient scorer. Excuse me, and also give Kevin Knox his opportunities. Find your point guard, not point guards, but your point guard. And if Julius Randle can stay, he's been balling out so far. If Julius Randle stays, then I think the Knicks are going to be a pretty good team soon. And I think Obi Toppin's going to be in a pretty good position to improve, especially now that they have a proven coach in Tom Thibodeau. He showed in his time in Chicago that he's a pretty good coach. I mean, obviously, he also has his concerns with how many minutes he gives his starters, which is actually another reason why I think Obi has a good chance of winning Rookie of the Year, is because oftentimes rookies don't get as much minutes in their rookie year than other players. But I don't know if Thibodeau is going to go with the same route with that, with the rookies getting less minutes, because we all know he gives a lot of heavy minutes to his starters and eventually that could be problematic. But for now, for Rookie of the Year, I think Obi Toppin has a great chance. He's honestly a safer choice than Cole Anthony. I just went out on a limb. I didn't want to make the obvious choices that other people are making. Wiseman, Obi Toppin, LaMelo Ball. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's it. Honorable mentions. I just mentioned him, LaMelo Ball. I'm just not sure how that fit in Charlotte's going to work immediately with Rozier, Devontae Graham, and him. I think it's going to take some time. But eventually, I think it's going to work out. I think LaMelo's going to be a star in this league, just not in his rookie year. Um, Another honorable mention, Isaac Okoro. He's also landed in a pretty good situation in Cleveland. Cleveland's got that backcourt established with Garland and Sexton, and they also have the front court with Andre Drummond and hopefully a healthy, motivated Kevin Love. So I think Isaac Okoro is in a good situation. The only problem is I think his game needs a lot of time to develop. So I don't think we're going to quite see him as a Rookie of the Year candidate, but I think he could be a potential All-Star with the right coaching, with the right development, with the right training, because he is a very talented defensive player. He just lacks a lot of offensive technical stuff that it will improve on. I have faith in Okoro. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's a great guy, and I think eventually he'll be at an All-Star level. I just don't think it's going to look very good as a rookie, especially since Cleveland's a young team, rather young team. And Onyeka Okongwu, I just think the Hawks have too many players right now. They have Clint Capella. Um, so Okongwu's not going to start. He's not going to get enough minutes to be considered a Rookie of the Year candidate, but I really like him. I truly do like him as a player. You can tell he has that desire and he loves basketball as well. And the last honorable mention is another dark horse that I think could win the award. It's Tyrese Maxey. Again, he's one of those guys who loves basketball. He truly loves basketball. He has that desire. Um, and he's also playing for a great coach. Say what you want about Doc Rivers, he's still a great coach. They've got Daryl Morey as the GM, so he's going to implement a lot of different things. And I think with combining his love of basketball with the amount of talent in Philly, I think Maxey's going to look very good his rookie year. Although he's not going to get the minutes much like Okongwu, I don't think he's going to win the award. But if an injury were to happen, Maxey were to step up, then I think he's got a great chance at winning it too. But um, without injury, I think I don't think he really has a chance due to the guys playing above him. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Like the video if you agree. Dislike it if you think I'm completely wrong. Um, but if you dislike it, please leave a comment explaining why you think I'm wrong, and I will get back to all the comments and I will give my explanation on why I believe what I believe. And yeah, all I ask is that you be respectful. It's just my opinion. I'll respect your opinion, and that's it. Um, that's it for this video. Defensive Player of the Year video is coming out soon. Subscribe so you catch that. Like the video, please. Again, if you agree, dislike if you disagree. And that's it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon.